Good afternoon, students. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. So tomorrow we have our exam. No, first sessional exam.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I think my paper is the first paper. Is it?
No, ma'am. Second
All
paper.
oh, second paper. Okay. First paper. At what time you have to appear?
10,
From
10 to 10:40. 10 to
10 to
10.
10. Okay. So my paper is from 1 to 1:40. I think no.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So my portion is still today's class. Okay. So today we will discuss about marginal cost. So till this class you have to prepare. So the screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
initially you read the slide, then I will explain you. You read the slide. If you finish, then tell me. So do you able to understand?
No, ma'am.
No. So what is marginal cost? So in these days we all are discussing about various types of cost. So we already discussed economic cost, accounting cost, then your opportunity cost, private cost, and social cost. So I think you have clear about your ideas regarding these various types of cost, correct? So today we will discuss marginal cost. So this cost is also related with your production process. So so whenever we discuss about cost, so all the costs are related with the production process of an individual or of an producer. So marginal cost means suppose you produce so when you produces you have certain amount of cost. So cost means you have certain amount of expenditures. So your expenditures increases when your production increases. So if you produce 10, suppose if you produce 10 numbers of cakes. So when you bake 10 cakes, so you need raw materials, you need your oven, you need um, laborers or workers. So each of them you have to pay. So when you produces the 11th numbers of cake, that means one additional or extra cake, then automatically your amount of expenditure increases. So marginal cost represents that one additional amount of cost which we need to produce one extra amount of commodity. So if you produce 10 numbers, whatever your cost, if you produce 11th number, then what happen? Your cost increases, and how much amount of increasing cost of that 11th amount, that individual numbers of cost is calculated under marginal cost. So this cost or expenditures not only includes the goods or machineries or suppose raw material cost, but also include the labor cost, the services, etc. Okay. So what is marginal cost? Marginal cost is the additional cost which is incurred in the production of one more unit of goods or service. Suppose I am a doctor. So in that time, if I serve 10 patients, then suppose per patient I take 100 rupees. So if I serve or give treatment of 10 patients, then my total income is 1000 rupees. So if I give one additional service of one additional your patient, then what happen, he will pay me 100 extra rupees. Then what is my total amount of income or revenue I collected now 100 into 11, that is 1100. So how I calculate marginal cost? So 1100 minus 1000. How it is 1000? When I serve 10 patients, so that the result will be 1100 minus 1000 is equal to 100. So that 100 rupees is the amount paid by the 11th number of patient. So that is called marginal cost. Is the concept is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you see the next slide. Then I think you have some ideas. So now you see the table. So table is, so in this output, so do you able to see the bar, this joystick, you able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it is, see, it is 10 out. This is the number of outputs. Outputs means how much amount of commodity produces. This is total cost and this is marginal cost. What is total cost? Total cost represents the total amount of expenditures of producing one commodity. So here what happened, how much commodity produces, output means production. Okay, how much output produces, 10 output. So when 10 commodity produces, what is the amount of total cost? Total cost is 400 rupees. So now the next situation, what happened, one extra amount of commodity produces. So how much output? Now output number is 11. So when it is 11, then what is the number of total cost? Total cost now increases to 700. So when he produces 10 commodity, his total cost is 400. When he produces 11 commodity, his total cost is 700. So if you notice, this gap is too high. Why it is too high? Maybe he need one extra amount of, suppose, oven or extra amount of machineries. He needs one for producing extra commodity. He may needs the extra labor. He may hire one extra labor. He may need extra electricity connection. He may need the extra building. So that those are the reasons of increasing your total cost when you produces one extra amount of commodity. Now how we calculate marginal cost? So marginal cost is calculated by this number. Suppose how much commodity, where we calculated at 11th unit of output. So it is 700 minus 400. That means what is the amount of in expenditure occur to produce 11th commodity. So 700 minus 400, it is 300. Now if it is 12 number of output produces, then what happen, what is our marginal cost? So total cost is given, this is for 800. So if it is 800, then what is the amount of marginal cost? So through what we calculated marginal cost, through the total cost. So what is the now 12th amount of production? Total cost is 800. So one lesser amount of output produces if what is the amount of total cost? That is 700. So 800 minus 700, so marginal cost is 100. So in the same way we will able to calculate the total number of marginal cost if output production increases in the table. So you read first of all you give a look on the table, and if you have any problem, any doubt, then ask me. Okay.
Ma'am, in if output decreases, then what happens?
No, if output decreases, that is not the matter of calculating marginal cost, because marginal cost only calculated when one additional output is produces. Okay, so if you remember the earlier slide, then you will be able to see that if output increases, then only so here additional cost incurred in the production of one more unit. Okay, you do you see this term, one more unit? So when we increase one extra amount of production, when we make one extra unit of production, then only we will calculate marginal cost, not at that time when we reduces the cost. Okay, are you clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, now see the table. If you have any doubt, then ask me. Okay, so is the table is clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think you have not any doubt regarding the concept of marginal cost. So just give a look on the these lines. Marginal cost will tend to fall at first. Oh, do you notice in the first phase I am not able to give the marginal cost? Yes, so marginal cost are able to calculate only from the second unit. How, why it is not able to calculate in the first unit? Because we have to always subtract the total cost from the one extra unit of cost. So if it is 10th amount of output, then total cost is given 400. So if I have to give the marginal cost in this place in the first output production, then from where I will able to subtract this figure. This figure, the ninth amount of output should be given. But since it is not given, So I am not be able to find out the marginal cost of the 10th unit. So from the second unit, that is 11th unit, we will be able to calculate the marginal cost. So here you see marginal cost will tend to fall at first, but quickly raises as marginal returns to variable factor input start to diminish, which makes the marginal factors more expensive to employ. This is a called law of diminishing marginal return. So we will later on discuss what is law of diminishing marginal return. So marginal cost is significant in economic theory because a profit maximizing firm will produce up to the point where marginal cost equals marginal revenue. So what is marginal, why marginal cost equal to marginal revenue? So we have various types of markets. So there is one idealistic market, that is perfect competitive market. So in perfect competitive market, what happened? Whatever amount of commodity we produces, always we sell those commodity at the production cost. Okay, we will discuss all this later on. So if marginal cost is 100 rupees, then marginal revenue, revenue indicates the total amount of money generates by selling the production. So when this marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue, then we will be, the market will be able to produce at equilibrium level. Okay, so you just clearly have should have this calculating formulas how we calculate marginal cost. So next slide, we will discuss average cost. So average, I think all of we have certain idea regarding the word average. Do you have? Yes, students.
Yes, ma'am.
So do you know what is average? The term, what do you mean by average? You just read the slide. You just read the slide. So the average cost is the per unit cost of production obtained by dividing the total cost by total output. Okay. So what is total cost? We already have the total cost. The total cost is the summation of all the cost we generated when a production takes place. So we have certain amount of total cost in our early slide. So these are the total cost. Okay. So total cost should be given and total output. So what is total output? So these are the total outputs. Okay. So if we divided total cost by total output, then we will be able to get the average cost. So average cost represents total divided by total cost divided by total amount of output production. That means what is the average per unit of cost of production of a particular commodity is represented by average cost. So this formula is given. So AC equal to TC divided by Q. So here TC represents total cost, Q represents total amount of output production. So here is another formula, AC equal to, that means average cost equal to average variable cost plus average fixed cost. So what is variable cost? Which are which the cost which are varies. Varies means, suppose what are the variable cost? For example, the cost, the salary given by the should be given to the wage workers, because every month or every week or every per day, so the owner have to give a amount of salary to the work whose employers. So this type of cost is variable cost. Variable means which are not fixed. Suppose the electricity bill, you have to pay the electricity bill every month. So electricity bill is an example of variable cost. You have to purchase the raw materials. So when you purchase the raw materials, each and every unit of production, you need various amount of raw materials. So you have to purchase the raw materials when your production changes. So raw material cost is also included variable cost. Now what are the fixed cost? Fixed costs are those costs which are fixed. So suppose you bought a building. So if you bought the building, to pay the amount at one time. So that is your fixed cost. If you purchase a machine, so if you purchase the machine, then you have to pay the machine for one time. So that is fixed cost. Okay. Are the examples of fixed cost? Are you clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So give one example of variable cost.
Electricity bill.
Good. Give one example of fixed cost.
Land,
Machinery.
Rent.
building machinery, cars.
Good. So that means when you add up the variable cost and when you add up, so you have the term here also, average. Average means total divided by per unit. So average cost plus average variable cost, if you add it up, then you will get the total average cost, where the formulas are also given how we calculate this average variable cost. So average variable cost are calculated by total variable cost divided by, which is represented by TVC, divided by total output. So how we calculate average fixed cost? Total fixed cost, TFC, divided by total output, that is Q. That means output is represented by Q only. Okay. So you read the slide once again. If you have any doubt, then ask me.
Ma'am, what is variable cost?
Variable cost are those costs which are not fixed. That means which are varies. Suppose you produces, you bake, suppose cake. So when you bake the cake, you need flour. Okay. So you need eggs. So each, suppose you produces eggs, bake cake, then what happened? Your number of cakes are different. That means your number of raw materials are changes when your amount of cake production are changes. So this type of changing cost are called variable cost. Now is it clear? That means
Yes,
cost
ma'am.
which is varies, which are not fixed. So if the cost varies, then that is called variable cost. Suppose electricity bill, you have to pay every month. Okay. So that means your cost is not for one time. You have to give your expenditures at various time periods. So that is variable cost. And if it is fixed cost, then what happened? You have to pay the amount of money at one time. So that those are the fixed costs. If you purchase the building, then you have to give your amount at one time. So that is fixed cost. And you have the formula.
Ma'am,
Yes.
salary, can we say salary is a fixed cost? Cause when we pay salaries one time, suppose
Mm.
15,000.
Okay.
Every month we can say at 15,000.
Yeah,
After
every
1 year or two,
yes, after 1 year, 2 year, what?
we can this salary is increase.
Okay. No, you look. So yes, you fix the amount of salary. The rate of your salary should be fixed, but the owner have to pay. It is not like that. Not that one for 5 years you will get the advance amount of salary. Is it possible? It is not possible. You have to pay your employers every month. Yes. So if you have to pay every month, that means money from your hand goes every month to the employers. So your money is running. No, it is not in a stock. So that is why salary is not in fixed cost. Though your amount of salary is fixed, but your process of paying the salary is not fixed. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can I change the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, okay. From here, are you able to calculate the average cost from this slide? Are you able to calculate the average cost?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me what is the average cost? So what is the average cost for the first unit? Here, what is the average cost when output production is 10?
Ma'am, 400 by 10.
40.
40. Good, very
40.
good. Yeah. For the second unit,
40.
40.
how we calculate? You just give me the procedures, not the exact amount. For the
Ma'am,
second,
700,
700.
700 by 11.
711.
good, very good. So I think you will be able to calculate the average cost, correct? Good. So now we will see the relation between average cost and marginal cost. So average cost and marginal cost, I already mentioned you that each and every amount of uh, concept which we discuss in economical topic should be explained through the diagrams. So here also you have one x-axis, you have one y-axis. So in the x-axis you will measure the quantity, in the x-axis you will measure unit. Unit means suppose it is price or whatever, cost, whatever. So this is the shape of the average cost curve. So this is the average cost. What is the marginal cost? This is the marginal cost. So you look, the average cost curve initially increases. How it is? Why it is increases? Because suppose if you have 10 production, 10 unit of number amount of production, you suppose need 10 amount of cake you want to bake, then you need one oven. So if you need 12 amount of cake, then also your amount of oven should remain same. So your cost is decreases. But if you want to produce, if your production increases, if you now want to produce 30 amount of cakes, then what happen? You need one extra amount of oven, or you need extra amount of labors also. So if you hire one extra amount of labor, or if you purchase one extra amount of oven, then automatically your amount of cost increases. So that is the reason initially it is fall down, then it is again increases. Clear? So the marginal cost is in the same concept. If marginal cost is increases, it is due to the law of diminishing return. I will explain the law of diminishing return later on. So you just remember the shape of the two curves. So this is the shape of the average cost curve. This is the shape of the marginal cost curve. So you look, it is intersect at this point. It is intersect at this point. So when it is intersecting at the point, what happen? When it is intersecting, that means here the production should occur. If it is in the left side, what happen? MC is less than AC. That means you look, this is higher now, AC curve placed higher than this MC curve. If you look in the right side, then what happened? Your MC curve, this MC curve is greater. The value of MC is more than this one. How we calculate the value? Through the units. So here what happened? This is suppose this much of your marginal cost. When you produces this much of commodity, this is your marginal cost, and what is your average cost? Your average cost is this much. So average cost is much higher than your marginal cost. Again, if you notice at this one, this is right side, then what happened? What is your average cost? If you produce this amount of output, your average cost is this much. What is your marginal cost? Your marginal cost is this much, which is higher than your average cost. So if you see the relation between average cost and marginal cost, then what happens? When the average cost increases, so that means average cost increases, marginal cost is greater than the average cost. Okay, so like where it is increases, from here, this is your decreasing average cost. So from this point, your average cost is increases. So when average cost increases, your marginal cost is above the average cost. When the average cost stays at same, so where average cost stays at same, so this portion average cost stays same at a minimum or maximum, so this is same. So the marginal cost equals the marginal cost. So here what happened? Your marginal cost is intersecting the average cost. Their average cost and marginal cost are same. So read the slide and check, is there anything which you were not able to understood? Then ask me. Okay, we have 6 more minutes. So do you have any doubt? Yes, students.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can you
No,
please
ma'am.
explain?
Yes.
Can you please explain again,
Which one?
ma'am? Ma'am, this one, this diagram, ma'am.
So this is our average cost. Okay. So this is our average cost. This is our marginal cost. So here what happened? Average cost is decreasing. Correct. So what is the relation? If average cost is decreasing, then marginal cost is stays low than the marginal cost. So average cost is decreasing, marginal cost is much lower than the average cost. At one point, at the minimum point of average cost, when our average cost is fixed, then what happen? Average cost and marginal cost are same. Here both the curves are intersecting. If the average cost again increases, now look at this portion, our average cost is increases. So when our average cost is increases, marginal cost stays above the average cost. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Now it is
Yes,
clear now?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So
Thank you.
let's see if do you have more slide or not. No, we don't have any slide. So this is all about of our average cost and marginal cost. I think you will all of you have nothing. All of you, what Bidut Kulta? Okay. All of you are able to understood what is average cost and marginal cost, and tomorrow you have questions from these chapters. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, na? Okay.
Okay.
It's very easy concept, na? It's not very tough. So you give your roll numbers along with your names on our group. I will give the attendances. Okay. So I think you don't have any classes of these days, na? 17, 18, 19? Or you have?
No, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you able to do the classes or not? Because what happened, I already told you, na, my grandmother died. So we have some rituals from 20th to 23rd. Okay. So 20th is a Sunday, 21, 22, 23. I will be on leave again. So I will take your classes later on. If you have not any time on these days, then when I join, then we will take 2 classes. Is it okay?
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
anyway, I have to finish your process till your 20th January. Now you have classes till 20 January. So we'll do the extra classes, and then if I suppose today I will do this, do this class, then I will do it like this way. I will take classes, extra classes. Okay. So I think you have finished up your all classes at 3 p.m. now. After 3 p.m. I don't have any classes, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if possible, we will do the extra classes after 3 p.m. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Then thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Then thank you and all the best for your exams. Do the exams proper, read
Thank you,
the
ma'am.
topics
Thank you,
properly,
ma'am.
and do well in your exams.
Thank
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Thank
is it
you.
enough to study from the portal?
Yes, it is enough. I
Okay,
think
okay,
it is
ma'am. Okay,
enough.
ma'am.
But the thing is that you have
Okay.
to clear your concepts. Okay. If you
Okay,
clear up
okay.
your
Okay.
concepts, then it will be okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.